So here's the thing. Life doesn't always go the way we plan. Sometimes it can really hit us hard. But resilience isn't about avoiding challenges. It's about how we respond to them, how we recover, how we get back up, and what we learn in the process. Take a seat. This is the Life Bench. As always, thank you to all for listening and supporting the podcast. I can't believe how quickly the weeks are passing. It feels like only yesterday that it was the start of the year and this was going over and over in my head. And I kept putting it off. Episode 8 already. That is so surreal to me. But again, it's proof of what happens when you just make a start. So last week's episode, I spoke about the difficult topic of cancer and a few of my experiences around it. It wasn't an easy one to plan, let alone record, but I'm so glad that I did, because that's what part of what the Life Bench is, talking about difficult topics. And I think I said in the episode that the more we speak out and share our stories, the less alone we'll all feel. Some of you have already messaged me to say that although it was a difficult listen, it was also thought-provoking and that you could resonate with a lot of what I said. And that's really nice to hear. Not every week is going to be a difficult topic, because just like the conversations that me and Ads had on the bench, we did speak about lots of random other stuff as well, often having a moan or putting the world to rights. So there will certainly be a variety as I record more and more episodes. It's funny, when I started, I thought I might struggle for topics to talk about, but each week I seem to have so many to choose from, and I have to make the not so easy decision of what to go with. This week's choice wasn't so difficult, as it follows last week quite nicely, I think. I want to talk about resilience and recovery, the strength we find in hard times and how we keep moving forward when life doesn't go to plan. Because life will present challenges and hard times, setbacks and losses. Those moments where we feel like it's all too much. And it's in those moments where it's not about being unshakable or pretending we're okay. It's about resilience. It's about being able to take the hit and keep moving forward. Finding the way to keep going. All of us have already done it. We've all faced difficult moments and we're still here. This is what I want to go over today. What resilience is, how we recover, and how we can build it into our daily lives. So let's start with what resilience is, and maybe just as important, what it isn't. Resilience often gets misunderstood. A lot of people hear the word and think it's someone who's completely unshakable. Someone who never cries, never gets scared, never struggles. But that's not resilience. That's just a mask. A cover for how things are really affecting them. Resilience isn't about pretending that hard times don't affect us. It's not about putting on a brave face and bottling things up. It's actually quite the opposite, in fact. Real resilience comes out when life throws us a hard moment and we feel it, learn from it, and keep going. We don't let it define us. It's the ability to adapt, to fall and get back up. Even if it takes a while or it's messy, we get back up. I think of resilience as a kind of quiet strength, not loud or flashy, but steady and discreet. It's in the person who gets up in the morning after a loss or setback. It's in the way we adapt or pivot when life doesn't go to plan. It's in those small, daily choices to keep trying, even if all we want to do is give up. Giving up often seems like the best option because it's the easiest. But in reality, it will only make things worse and set us back further. We will also never learn anything from taking the easy option. When I look at some of the setbacks or difficult moments in my own life, I didn't always deal with things in the best way. I often kept quiet, bottled things up, and tried to carry on like nothing was wrong. It's taken me a long time to realise that I was doing this. In the moment I thought I was being strong by handling it myself and not burdening anyone with these things. But now I see that that wasn't strength at all. I was just masking what was really happening and how I was really feeling. There have been times where I've acted differently and dealt with things better, where I've kept going even when it would have been easier to walk away or give up. But I didn't. Day by day, step by step, I kept going, and I'm still here. I'm sure everyone listening can relate to that. We've all had moments that have tested us, losing someone, facing illness, struggling at work or in a relationship, even struggling with our own mindset. Everyone has a story where life has hit them hard. And yet, here you are, still standing, still moving forward. That's resilience. And the thing is, we're not born with resilience. It's something that's built over time. Every time we go through a difficult moment or scenario, we have a choice. We let it be our downfall, or we let it be our making. Strength is born from struggle. So what happens after we stay strong and show that resilience? Well, that's only half the story, because the other half is recovery. Learning how to rebuild ourselves after the storm. There's no point being resilient if we're not going to learn and grow and recover properly afterwards. Recovery is one of those things that doesn't get spoken about enough, I don't think. We hear a lot about resilience, about staying strong, and although it's the strength that gets us through the tough moments, recovery is just as important in what comes afterwards. It's very rarely neat or quick. It's not a straight line or a perfect path where each day feels better than the previous one. More often it's a staggered process, 2 steps forward and 1 step back. Sometimes it feels like we've made a lot of progress, and then others it feels like we're right back at the beginning, or in a worse place than ever. And that's entirely normal. It's part of the process. It's hard and it can be frustrating at times, but it's something that you can't rush. We have to trust that things will work out in the end. And they always do. Again, when I look at my own times of recovery, I had to learn to be patient and trust the process, whatever setback it was. Some are harder than others, but the principles of recovery are still the same. Whether it was grief, an illness, an injury, a business setback, the process of recovery is the same. What I've come to realise is recovery isn't about rushing back to normal. A lot of the time there is no going back to that. At least not to how things were before. Often things are very different, and recovery is about creating a new normal, putting back together what remains and finding new strength in the places that were broken. And that takes time. So we need to learn to be patient, to be kind to ourselves, to allow ourselves rest when we need it. And we need to trust that process is happening, even when we can't see it. I feel like I say that line a lot. And one of the big things is that recovery looks different for everyone. There's no singular path, no universal timeline, and certainly no right way to do it. It's going to be unique to you. For many of us, we'll need to recover mentally and physically, healing the mind and the body side by side, often at different speeds. And that means your recovery might not look anything like anyone else's, and that's absolutely fine. What matters is finding what helps you to heal and allowing yourself the time and space to do it under no pressure. Some people will need movement, others need rest, some will need to talk, and others need quiet reflection. Whatever it is, as long as it allows you to keep moving forward in your own way, then that's what's needed. Since losing my uncle, my auntie has always said, whatever it takes to get through. The main thing is recognising that recovery is proof that even after the hardest times, life can grow again. It might not be in the same shape or guise as before, but sometimes it can be something even stronger and even more meaningful. And honestly, looking back, I never thought I'd be where I am today. Thinking of some of the most difficult moments I faced. At times it was so hard and I wanted to give up. But I didn't. I kept going. I kept moving forward. And I'm still here. I'm still here, and now I'm doing this. Trying to help others with what I've learned along the way. So we know we discover resilience when the tough moments in life hit us. But it's also possible to build that strength day to day. It's something we can nurture and practice in the small, everyday moments of life. Resilience doesn't just appear when we need it most. It's like a muscle in that the more we use it, the stronger it becomes. And the good news is that we can practice training resilience without the need to face big, difficult moments. We can build it in the small, everyday challenges we face. One of the biggest ways is through perspective. This is something that I've learned a lot about in the last year or so, and it's had quite a big effect on my life. When things go wrong, it's easy to focus on the negatives or what's gone against us. Again, it's one of those things that's not all our fault. It's thought to be an evolutionary function, whereby negative experiences have a more significant impact on survival, thus leading us as humans to be more sensitive to negative information as a form of self-protection. Now, we no longer need this for the same reason, but it's ingrained in us, so we must work at changing it. If we can learn to zoom out and look at the big picture, we can focus on the positives and what we're gaining from a situation, things that we often miss. And that's when resilience comes from. If we can remind ourselves that these setbacks don't last forever, it will affect our response to them and how we feel going forward. I've had many moments where a problem or setback felt huge at the time. But by changing my perspective, I've realised it's not like that at all. This hasn't always happened quickly. Sometimes it's been months later when I've looked back and seen that in context, that moment was actually pushing me in a better direction. The more I practice this day to day, the more easily I'm able to recognise this. Another part of resilience is having a routine and taking the small wins, doing things that keep us grounded, like exercise, journaling, walking the dog, or just sticking to a morning ritual. It's habits like these that give us stability when life feels chaotic. They can be a reminder that even when there are things we cannot control, there is still plenty that we can. Resilience also grows through connection. Something else I've been working on recently and a project that's close to my heart. As humans, we need connection. We're not meant to do life alone. Talking to a friend, leaning on family, or finding a community you care about can make all the difference. Sometimes resilience isn't about standing on our own. It's about having the courage to reach out and accept help when we need it most. And then there's self-talk, the voice we use when we're talking to ourselves. If we always talk ourselves down or berate ourselves, it's going to chip away and eventually have an impact. But if we can shift the tone of that voice to one of encouragement, we're building resilience in that moment. Even a simple line of, "This is tough, but I can get through it," can have a profound impact. For me, yes, I've gained a lot of resilience from the really tough moments in my life, but I've also built it in the small, simple things that I do. Showing up to the gym when I have no motivation, taking Benji out when it's raining, working on my projects even if I'm tired, continue to move forward with my ideas even after getting rejections. It's these little acts of showing up that make all the difference. In the long run, they will have the biggest impact. They're kind of like practice runs for when the bigger challenges arrive. They may not feel like much in the moment, but over time I'm building a strong foundation, training and preparing myself for battle. And the truth is, resilience isn't about waiting for the worst to happen. It's about preparing ourselves in advance for the way we live every day, to be ready, so that we can not only just survive the storm, but come out the other side stronger and better than we were before. Before I finish the episode, I just wanted to speak about a few of the most famous examples of resilience that I've found in my research. Bethany Hamilton lost her left arm in a shark attack while surfing. Despite the trauma of the incident, she got back on a surfboard 26 days after the attack. J.K. Rowling was a single mother, living on benefits, when Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone was rejected by 12 publishers, until eventually Bloomsbury accepted, and, well, the rest is history. Stephen Hawking was diagnosed with a rare form of motor neurone disease at 21, and only given a few years to live. He went on to become one of the most brilliant scientific minds in history, and lived until the age of 76. Tiger Woods underwent spinal fusion surgery in 2017. After a grueling rehabilitation program, he initially just wanted to be pain-free and play golf. His determination and self-belief meant that he returned to playing golf and went on to win the Masters in 2019. And then closer to home, one of the biggest examples of resilience I've seen is in Amber. For the last 15 years or so, she's been battling with her mental health, having been diagnosed with OCD and generalised anxiety disorder. It hasn't been easy for her, and there have been some really low points, times where it felt like nothing was helping and it was all too much. It was very difficult to watch, and there was nothing I could do really to help, other than just be there. But she didn't give up, and finally she's in a place where she feels like more like her old self again, a place where she can move forward with her life. And that quiet and determined strength it takes to keep going day after day, even when things feel too much, that's resilience at its core. There are so many stories of resilience from people of all walks of life. These few show us that resilience doesn't always look the same, but it always carries the same message. We can get through a lot more than we think. So yeah, that's been this week's episode of Resilience and Recovery. If there's one thing I want you to take away from it, it's that resilience isn't about never struggling. It's about how we respond when life gets tough. It's the strength that helps us face challenges head on when we feel like we can't. And not forgetting recovery, which is equally as important. That process of healing, learning and rebuilding after those tough times. And it takes time and needs work. And remember, both of these will look different for everyone. So however yours looks, that's okay. As long as you keep moving forward, whatever works for you. Be patient and kind to yourself. Celebrate those small wins. And try to incorporate some of the things that I've mentioned into your everyday life. And see what happens. Give yourself the best chance when you need it. Resilience and recovery aren't about being unbreakable. They're about showing up, healing, learning, and growing stronger along the way. And remember, you've already survived some of your hardest days. You're stronger than you think. Thank you as always for listening to this episode. It feels like a shorter one, but I can never tell when I'm recording. I've had a few comments about the length being just right. I think the average is 17 or 18 minutes. I think for me, just talking on my own about different subjects seems like a good run time. Let me know what you think, or if you have any comments or feedback. I know how I feel about all of this, but it's nice to hear what you've got to say. And I say it every week, but please continue to rate and review wherever you listen to your podcasts. It really helps the show grow, as well as following and engaging with the content on the Instagram page. I'm trying to post a range of things on there and my own personal page to try and grow the reach, attract more listeners. The YouTube channel is still just audio, but again, please subscribe. And yeah, as always, reach out if you want to. It can be about anything from one of the episodes or just to say hi. My messages are always open. Something else I say every week is the amount of choices I have for the quotes to end the episode with. It must take me as long to choose the quote as it does to record the entire episode. But I've gone for another film one this week. It's from Batman Begins, released in 2005. 20 years ago, that's just crazy. And I think the quote encapsulates resilience better than anything else. We all fall. We all face setbacks. But it's in the getting back up and the lessons we carry forward that we find our true strength. Why do we fall? So that we can learn to pick ourselves up.